few technical difficulties with the PlayStation servers, not just me experiencing that. But nonetheless, we managed to come to the crunch time here in the GT3 Pro Series 4 GT Sport here at RLH, and currently top of the timings is Wesley in that BMG Toyota, and he runs a little bit wide through Hawthorns. His teammate Aries right behind him at the moment. M short sets a personal best lap, going up into P5. And what can Aries do on this run? He's just setting it out, so he'll be going round the track now. We'll see what he can do on his flying lap now, running down through turn number 1, through Paddock Hill Bend, and we drop down the hill and then rise up once again in the climb to Druids. Of course, the hairpin, a good overtaking spot on this track. And as he drops down the hill now, going towards Graham Hill Bend, he's got a car in front, and he's marginally up now. The checker flag is out, so this will be the final run. Can Aries jump his teammate, the two BMG boys, right at the top of the timings now? Goes left in Surtees, of course, right is where you go for the Indy layout, but we're on the GT track. He's tantalisingly close to improving. Of course, only 0.05 of a second between him and Wesley. And as he goes towards Hawthorns, going to take the very fast corner, dropping it down into 4th gear, still over 100 miles an hour. Fantastic speeds through this part of that. Prim sets a personal best time as well now, and as he goes through Westfield, the slight kink of Dingledale, he drops right down the hill, climbs up towards Sheen Curve, and then of course the final part in the woods sections, you've got Stirling's, and then it'll go under the bridge towards Clearways and around the Clark Curve to finish his lap. We'll see what Wesley Aries, I should say, can do in this final run. Car right in front, so let's see how RLH Shorts does. Of course, in that Mazda, as he runs now towards the line. Short sets a best time of P4, and Wesley can't quite improve, tantalising close, but not quite close enough. And Phil McConaughey sets a personal best lap, just about a personal best lap as well, but stays in P7. But it's Wesley on pole for round 4 at Brands Hatch. And apologies once again for missing a large chunk of qualifying, but we're here now for the race in the GT3 Pro Series, and we're ready to get racing on GT Sport. The two BMG Toyotas at the front, and of course we've got a lot of the championship protagonists right at the top. Broomer, followed by Wesley, followed by Aries, is the current order, but we're waiting for the lights now to get going here in Brands Hatch. They should be coming on any second now. Can't quite see the cars. Whoa, revving their engines, and we're underway here, and it seems to be a great start for Wesley out in the lead, but RLH Shorts has got a fantastic getaway. And how now? Well, they've worked their way down in towards turn number 1. It's Broomer and Shorts are side by side. We've got it's like the arc at the moment. Everyone's side by side as they go through this first couple of sections. Shorts a bit of lag there, but holds on to P for SMJT, trying to go up the inside now as they come down towards Graham Hill Bend. Wesley still the leader further back. Aries has lost out massively in this opening couple of corners, and up the front it's side by side between SMJT and RLH Shorts, who will come out on top as they go into Surtees, and it's SMJT who just has nipped in front, but they're going to be pretty much in a train of things as they go now towards Hawthorns and work their way in towards the woods. Tim of the Total trying to make a move, but Broomer out in front, having a look at Wesley through the section, but it's a lot harder to overtake as they work their way through Westfield, through Dingledale, through Sheen, and Broomer right on the back of that BMG car. And we'll see if they can keep close as they go through these first couple of stages. Of course, it's a 40-minute endurance race here, and after that will be followed by some podium interviews. But everyone's kept it clean so far. Everyone's been well behaved. We come now back out onto the Indy circuit. Broomer right behind Wesley as they fly through Clark Curve now onto the main Brabham Straight, and it seems like Wesley's just got the legs on Broomer on the straight. But of course down into Paddock Hill Bend, chances for overtaking opportunities. He's gone wide there, going wide. Looks like it is Phil McConaughey who's just gone a little bit too wide. He's off and into the gravel. Unfortunately for Phil, very easy to do, of course, to drop down the hill into a very difficult corner, it must be said. And further back in the field, got Spaghetti Chips holding off Palmer at the moment, and he keeps ahead just about in that Porsche 4KPP. As they work their way now down the straight on Hawthorne Hill. Having a look, there was Palmer, but not quite on this occasion. Spaghetti Chips just holds on in front. Bruma's still tucked behind it. SMJT's joined the battle at the front, as I said, but let's have a look at the start once more, and we'll see if we can try and analyse it a bit better than we did previously. So from the start, it was a fantastic getaway from Wesley in the front, but I think Aries compromised on the outside, and as he just got crowded out there, it must be said. Shorts having a great start, getting up in a P3, and Bruma just about holding on the inside line. Yeah, but Aries sort of trapped on that outside edge, and as they went free abreast into turn 1, it was very difficult, it must be said. We have another go, we'll have another go if we can, maybe later on, but it's still the order it was at the front. Bruma still sat in P2. Of course, he's got a podium in every single race so far, but yet to stand on the top step. Can he get that today here at Brands Hatch? We've got 36 minutes left to find out. And this top 5, it'll be M Short in P6, just hoping they don't break away too much, as Palmer has had a go on Spaghetti Chips, and he's got the job done into Surtees. Fantastic move, it must be said, from him. And now as they go down towards Hawthorne, it's side by side still between, as Palmer tries to get past Prince making up places, and he's up in the P7 and past, and Spaghetti Chips the big loser out on that one. A bit of a twitch there from Palmer, but just holds the car well as he went through Dingledale. And further back at the front, it's still the order it once was. You've got a bit of a train, and it will be M Short hoping to try and close in on this 5-way battle at the front. SMGT sat in P3, patiently waiting at the moment to see what he can do. Bruma right on the back of Wesley, and a bit of a nudge into turn number 1, but he just about holds it in front there. Wesley having a look up the inside now is Bruma. It's a fantastic dive for the lead as he went into Druids and up the hill. Of course, you can brake very late as you go up the hill, but now it could be Wesley who's compromised. SMJT trying to find a way past that BMG car, not quite on this occasion, but he's going to get the switchback out of the corner, and he's up the inside now as they run towards Surtees. Can he get the job done? And Wesley just sweeps across and gets the position, but it's SMJT right on the back of Wesley, looking to now have a run at Hawthorne's. You got Shorts right in the background trying to pounce on this. And can SMJT go around the outside of Wesley? He's going to try, but out on the marble, it's going to be very difficult. He's just about heading around the outside. He's onto the grass a bit there, but holds the car well. Can Shorts go up the inside? And you think he has. Shorts got past SMJT there. Fantastic move from Shorts, being very opportunistic, it must be said. And he's tucked right behind Shorts now, and maybe trying to get past as Wesley just about held on to that position. SMJT, I think he's got a bit of dirt on those tyres, and Aries will now try and capitalise as he comes into Clearways and now onto the main straight. But it looks like SMJT's got a fantastic run on RLH Shorts. We'll see, can he get past now as they run now towards turn number 1, of course, Paddock Hill Bend, as they drop down the hill. Very, very difficult, especially with the gravel right on the far side there, but it seems to be a great run from SMJT. Shorts goes defensive, he knows that's what you have to do into that corner. The inside is very powerful here, but a bit of contact and sliding about there is Shorts, but SMG's managed to hold it completely around the outside. Fantastic move there from SMJT in the Team Default Subaru, and he goes up into the podium places in P3. Great stuff from him, but Shorts now could be coming right back at him. Got a good run out the corner, does Shorts. We'll see what he can do, tucked up right behind SMJT. Battle of the Brits as they go into Hawthorne's. He just has to hold back at the moment. We'll see further back in the pack was the battle for P7. They're still as they were, 7th, 8th for 9th, Prince, Palmer and Spaghetti Chips. And we'll have a look further back down the order. Nova sat in 11th, Phil 12th and Timmy 10th as things stand. But Bruma's been perfect for him as things stand, looking for that first win in Season 5 of GT Sport. And with 33 minutes left, it's looking good for the Swiss driver. M Short still holding on just about as well in P6. There's a big gap forming between Prinz and M Short, almost 4 seconds now, so something to keep an eye on, maybe, especially with the pit stop windows opening up anytime soon. And we'll see now. Be an interesting race, of course. It's a very difficult track to overtake, whereas he's still holding on to that penalty at the moment, of course. That will put SMJT right on the back of him after he managed to get past RLH Shorts. We'll see once again if SMJT, of course, winner of Season 4 GT Sport, whether he can get higher up on that podium. SMJT in the Subaru, trying to close that gap to Wesley. He's got it underneath a second now as he flies now down through Dingledale towards Sheen Curve and drop into Sterling's, of course. Everyone being pretty much well behaved today. As running wide, there is Wesley. He's gone off on the outside of Sterling onto the gravel a bit there, and still got a penalty, but that is surely SMJT to catch him a little bit. See, that time is dropping almost now. It's under 0.8 of a second, of course, but it still has to serve that half a second penalty. And this could be a great chance for SMJT to move up into P2 as they drop down Paddock Hill Bend. You see the grandstand's absolutely packed here for the GT3 Pro. And Aries having a look at Shorts now. He's got a lot closer. The two. One BMG is going to have to defend. One is going to have to attack. On lap number 7, Aries right on the back as he's right tucked up beneath the rear wing of RLH Shorts. At the moment, it seems Wesley still yet to serve that penalty, so that could be interesting when he decides to do that. But a great run from Aries out of Surtees, and now as they come down the hill towards the fast Hawthorns, will he be looking to have a move? He's going to have a look to the outside. Shorts covers the inside now, and as they go into Hawthorns, see, the outside is very difficult with all the marbles. He just about keeps it on the road, but has to just keep tucked behind that Mazda as things stand, and as they now run through Westfield. And of course, just like him, Dingledale, he's right on the back of him. Will he be making a move into Sheen? Not quite on this occasion, just decides to hang back now, but right all over the back of that Mazda of Shorts. And as they tuck now down through Sterling's, and they'll run under the bridge towards the final couple of corners. See, the battle further up the road has really closed in as well. SMJT right on the back of, and into the pits comes Aries, pulling the trigger on the pit stop window, and as he dives into the pit lane, we'll move further up the field as M Shorts come into the pit lane as well, so maybe reacting to Aries and trying to get the undercut on some of these cars. Of course, Aries could be trying to undercut. RLH Shorts come out onto the track with fresh tyres. We've had 10 minutes of racing here, still have half an hour left to go, and SMJT right on the back. See, Bruma has pulled the gap out by about a second since we last sort of had a look. But further back down the order, I think they're still as way that they were pretty much in line. And Aries has come out. They've come out right in the middle of this battle, it seems. Because in M Short now trying to get past Spaghetti Chips, and there's a bit of a tank slapper there as he comes out of Surtees, and he's side by side with Spaghetti Chips. Of course, M Short just having pitted. There's a bit of contact between them. Slight bit of side pod to side pod. I think that's what they're called in GT, I don't know, but Spaghetti Chips holds it up the inside. M Short, you can see the pace difference. But Spaghetti Chips putting up a mighty defence, and further up in the order, you've got the exact same happening between Aries and Palmer. Aries trying to get past as they drop through Dingledale, but can't find a way through into Sheen. And still stuck behind Palmer, and further back, Spaghetti Chips putting up a mighty defence at the moment, holding on to that P8 position, but he's not racing M Short realistically at the moment, but it could be later on in the race. There's still a long way left to go, and it's just almost somebody in the pits as well. And it is Palmer's coming to the pits lane, along with Prims, along with Spaghetti Chips, so a lot of those guys pitting now. And Wesley's coming to the pit lane as well, so the two BMG guys have pitted now, and the top three still yet to pit. So another bit interesting thing to see where they come out. I think we've got a spinner, have we? Further down the back, not too sure, maybe a bit of contact with the wall. Bruma still leads now. The gap, of course, has increased after Wesley's come into the pit lane. SMJT releasing, and he'll be wanting to push on as much as he can now, try and make the overcut work. So will Shorts, of course, but he will be battling the two BMG guys, I'm sure, as they come out the pits. They're trying to make the undercut work on the Roll Centre Racing Mazda of Shorts. And we'll see now. It'll be very interesting to see where everybody slots out. So we're all very, very close on track. Will any of them come into the pit lane on this lap? Brummer, is he going to tuck into the pit lane? He stays out another lap. SMGT stays out another lap. Short stays out another lap. So I think it's maybe a good time to try and have... Oh, we've got someone in the pit lane. I apologise completely. Someone is in the pit lane. I think they're further back down the field. That could be Phil, potentially from... We saw him enter early on. But wow, there's a bit of a gap between some of the cars. We'll have another look at the start. I want to try my best to go on board with SMJT because it's Aries to drop down massively. See, he's just on that outside. On board with him now, on the outside, and he just a bit of a lag in front as well. But you can't turn in, and everyone's just going to slide up your inside. Almost lost vision to Phil, who had a great start as well. But on lap one, it was very tight racing between the two cars in front. SMJT and Shorts giving each other absolutely everything. And Shorts will be trying to hold it up the inside, but SMJT just swoops around and keeps position. Of course, Brummer getting past Wesley later on, but as we cut back to the action on lap 10, it's Brummer who still leads them with 26 minutes left, not having pitted yet, so maybe trying to go for less stops in this race. And will he dive into the pit lane now? Maybe trying to make a two-stop work rather than a free. And he looks like he's taking a bit of a tighter line. Not coming into the pit lane though. Will SMJT pull the trigger for the guys at the front? He does come into the pit lane though. He does pull into the pit lane, and RLH Shorts will follow him as well. So they're both trying to get the undercut on Brummer, the leader. And it looks like Aries has managed to get past. Will Wesley and Aries slot out in front? They have slotted. Both of them have slotted out in front by quite a margin, it looks like. They have made the undercut work massively. Very impressive from those guys. M Short has got them as well. So both SMJT and Shorts losing out massively, and almost Palmer's almost... He's right on the back of Shorts now. But both of those guys are losing out massively. And it's two BMG guys that have promoted themselves up into the podium places. Wesley's still holding as a penalty. That must be some sort of bug there. Brummer is still leading the way in the Volkswagen Beetle for the Grisario Racing team. Doing a fantastic job so far, definitely deserved of winning. It'll be interesting to see if he comes into the pit lane on this lap. See if he decides to pull the trigger. Over back, you've got the two BMG guys really closely matched at the moment. And will he come into the pit lane now? Brummer seems to be taking a much tighter line. Is he? And he does dive into the pit lane now. Brummer does dive into the pit lane, so we'll see. Wesley, will the Dutch driver slot into P1, or will he have to? Will he still be in P2 after we complete the first round of pit stops? We're going to be on board with Wesley, and he's come out into the lead. Brummer slotting right down the order. He comes out the pit lane now, and where will he come out? He comes into P4. M Short just gets past, and on the outside there was SMJT trying to make a move around the outside. They're still battling away now as they come up towards the top of the hill. Brummer looks like he's just going to hold it up the inside now, and he does keep hold of P4. Fantastic stuff between them. Pretty clean, it must be said. SMGT trying to find a way past. His tyres are obviously worn up, and he's looking to make a move up the inside. He's there, but Brummer holds it round the outside. Great defensive driving there from Brummer in the Volkswagen. And he holds on to P4, but of course, I think maybe trying to go for a different strategy compared to some of these other guys, staying out a lot longer. And we'll try and have a look at that battle out the pit lane. See, Brummer and SMGT running around the outside, and it's almost as he stopped ghosting, and then, well, that's where the battle started, and they were a bit of wheel bang up the hill, but nothing, no problems there at all. And again, it's that outside line. You've got to have the confidence, you've got to have the grip, you've got to have the speed, and I think Brummer just, well, he had that as well as SMJT, so big compromise around the outside, but great stuff between the pair of them. Brummer in P4 will be wanting to get after SMJT now and work his way back onto the podium. At the front, it's still Wesley from Aries, so the two BMG guys are going to be have a massive boost for the constructors. Shorts in P5 trying to close up to this battle for P3. So he's currently sat in P5. We've got Palmer just ahead of M Short. Prince and Spaghetti Chips just behind them. Have another look at that move. Oh, I've got the wrong. There we go. Broomer and SMJT. And I think M Short's made a small mistake here, because he of course was in P3. I think while we cut to a replay, M Short's made a slight error and he's dropped down to P7, or he's come into the pit lane. I'm apologising that I missed that whilst we were having a look at the replay. And SMJT, though, leads Broomers. He's... see if we can try and get that. I think Broomer's lost out. So yeah, no. Again, while we're looking at replay, Broomer's made a small error. He's now got a penalty to add to his worries, and he's lost out to SMJT there at the front. They're still as they were. Wesley racked up a second penalty now. So again, I think that might just be they're not disappearing for him. Bit of a error with the game. SMJT currently sat in P3, managed to get past Broomer in the end. Of course, I think Broomer might be going for a different strategy compared to some of the other guys, going a bit longer, so it could work out in his favour towards the end of the race. Third back in the order, Palmer still leads M Short, still leads Prince, and running wide there through the corner was M Short, getting onto the marbles. They're starting to build up around the outside of Druids. See, they're very evident there. He's running a little bit wide, trying to carry as much speed as he possibly can. Prince in 8th, Spaghetti Chips in 9th, and Timmy Turtle rounding out the top 10. Nova currently in P11 as things stand, just sat outside the points. The further up at the front, there's still just about half a second that separates the two BMG guys, as we have almost at halfway point in this race. A penalty is really racking up for Wesley now. His teammate right on the back of him as they go through clearways and onto Clark Curve, and then fly down the main pitch straight, Brabham straight, and he's holding on that position at the moment. Broomer now trying to close back up the gap between him and SMJT. On the shores, just watching behind in the Mazda, hoping for something potentially just to happen between those two. He's got cars in the pit lane as well. Chips has stayed out. Who's coming to the pit lane? It's M Short into the pit lane, getting some tyres and fuel. As he's still right on the back of his teammate. Will he make a move at the end of Hawthorns now? He's got a good run out the corner. Wesley running a little bit wide there, kicking up a bit of dust. And the gap now under 0.3 of a second. Will he make a move into Hawthorns? Of course, very difficult. It's a very fast corner. Over 100 miles an hour they were in qualifying. And as he now flies down towards Westfield and then Dingledale, it's Aries right on the back of his teammate, desperately trying to find a way past and get out in front. Two BMG guys having a fantastic race in a constructor's point of view, but of course they'll both be wanting to pick up maximum points here. You see further back, it's still as they were. These guys running in a train as things stand. SMJT rocking a Lewis Hamilton helmet there, so very well designed, it must be said. Currently in first now, because the two BMG guys have both pitted. They've both come into the pit lane. Luckily in this game there's no double stacking, we're both getting a bit of fuel. Palmer's into the pit lane as well, and that promotes SMJT up into the race lead now. Broomer in P2. Of course, P3 for RLH Shorts. He's promoted up onto the podium positions now, and it's Aries who's come out in P4. Wesley in P5, and they have swapped around in the pits. So maybe a bit less fuel for Aries there, and he has managed to jump his teammate in the pit lane, and that does promote Prims up into P6. P7's M Short so after his pit stop, and he does get past Prims. I think maybe is having a few issues as he's ghosting his way around the track. But you've got Palmer then in P8, P9. spaghetti chips. Nova 10th at the moment. I think the last car on track is Timmy Little just behind him in P11. See, back at the front, it's still SMJT leading the way. Bruma now just 2 seconds behind, so I'm dropping back after serving a few of those penalties, and he's still got some penalties at the moment, but we definitely think Bruma is going long as this race. Aries currently has the fastest lap of the race. He's down in P4, but of course pitted just a lap ago, and he's managed to jump his teammate as well. So going very well for Aries in the BMG racing car at the moment around Brands Hatch. We're now past half race distance in round 4 of the GT3 Pro Series on our Racing League hub. As further down the field, diving into the pit lane, I think there was Prinz, and he has come into the pit lane, so that promotes spaghetti chips up into P8, and Nova will probably come out in P9. Prinz, I think, yeah, Prinz has had a few issues, so unfortunately for him, has had to leave the race. SMGT sat out in front at the moment, was where he was used to being in season 4 of GT Sport Cross. Big championship win for him. Currently 4th in the championship, so we're hoping to try and jump onto the podium positions in terms of the championship with a race win here today. Bruma, of course, still behind him though, ready to give him everything, I'm sure. But just trying to make the car last, go long into this race. RLH Shorts just behind them. There's been these three pretty much in order since the last stint. Apart from battle between SMGT and Bruma. There was a gap. Aries and Wesley still running in tandem like they were before the pit stop. Of course, they've swapped around. Number 34 of Aries and the number 99 of Wesley. Of course, that's the number he normally chooses to go with. See M Short currently in P6. He's got Palmer just behind him. There's a bit of a gap between him and Wesley at the moment. I think he's waiting for a few more guys to pit at, you know, he's sort of like Aries and Wesley, sort of one pit stop behind the front three. So we're hoping for a mighty stint in these couple of laps. But I think cars quite spread out now, just getting their heads down. SMJT is, I think, definitely finding these current track conditions slightly better than Bruma, just pulling out the gap to stretching out just about over 2 seconds as things stand, as he runs towards clearways and round clock curve to complete lap number 18 in the lead. Of course, we've got now under 15 minutes remaining in this endurance race, and he drops down Paddock Hill Bend, matching that perfectly, just avoiding the gravel on the outside, and they rise up into Druidge. Fantastic camera angle is this. Of course, they're on the Indy circuit at the moment. Bruma's not giving up without a fight though, he's pushing hard. You see his last lap time was a 1:23.1, while SMJT's was the one, that's not showing, it was a 1:22.5, I don't think that was right. 23.1 and a 22.5, so SMGT managed to pull a lot out there on Bruma on that last lap. See the battle between the two BMG guys. Aries has managed to pull out the gap quite a little bit. Of course, they're on the fresher rubber and they're flying at the moment. Aries on doing a 1:22.1, so almost a second quicker than Bruma on that last lap. Wesley as well, 1:22.1, so these guys pretty much evenly matched as things stand. It's really interesting to see if these guys are going to the end, or they still have one more stop left. Of course, giving it absolutely everything. They're definitely catching the cars in front. So the gap now between Aries and SMJT in the lead, only 8 seconds. So still all to play for as we come towards the end. And RLH Shorts is into the pit lane. RLH Shorts into the pit lane. Will surely be his final stop in this race, getting a bit of fuel and ready to go out once again. Where will he come up? Pretty sure he'll slot out into the big gap, which is P5, and he now leaves the pit lane. And as he races out, He just about slots ahead of M. Short. Of course, the two teammates in the Mazda. And now 22 seconds off the lead. He'll be looking for, try and get the undercut on some of these guys at the front. Bruma could be going to the end though. He might just be able to make it work. Doing a one-stop. SMJT still managing to slightly pull out that gap. As things stand, he's got Nova in front of him, currently in P10. Just about to lap the Porsche as they go through Sheen Curve and down towards Sterling's. SMGT currently in control, but I'm not sure if it'll be that way as they get towards the last couple of laps now. You can see the two BMG racing cars relentlessly pushing to try and catch up to the guys throughout the field. And you see the gap between Aries and SMJT now 7.5 seconds, so definitely pulling it in each lap. And SMJT is into the pit lane now. He does dive into the pit lane. And where will he come out? You see the undercut, I think, might be massively working here. And Aries does slot out ahead, and so does Wesley. But in relation to RLH Shorts, where will SMJT come out? He's just about to leave the pit lane now, and I think he's slotting out into quite a big gap. It looks at the moment, but he's definitely going to the end of this race. Currently into P4, which Bruma, we're not sure if he has to pit again. But Aries relentlessly pushing to try and regain that first position, and we could have a massive climax towards this race. We've got Palmer and M. Short battling away for P6 as well. We'll see what they can do as they run towards Surtees. They'll drop to the left, rise up this small climb, go under the bridge, just up here, and then rise up Hawthorne Hill to go around Hawthorne's fastest point, fast corner on the track. Pretty sure, but Palmer right on the back of M. Short. Great close racing between these two, within 0.3 of a second. Further up at the front, Bruma just coming to lap. Just coming to that Nova there. Just have a look, see if these two got close to each other. The M. Short holding the position, and it was as they dropped down Paddock Hill Bend, Palmer definitely got closer as they rose up towards Druids, and definitely closed massively in the corner. A bit of squad of a throttle, I think they're getting a much better exit than M. Short, and that's what allowed him to close up. And actually into the pit lane is M. Short and Palmer. Interesting, I think Spaghetti Chips is going to get promoted up into P6. And M. Short and Palmer racing on the exit. Palmer dropped back to all that good work he did on that previous lap. Lost a tiny bit, but the gap between Aries and Bruma massively closing now as we've got less than 10 minutes left on the clock. The gap of 2.5 seconds now. Of course, Nova's currently sat in the middle of them, so giving a bit of dirty air to Aries, I'm sure. Bruma's got a mighty fight on his hands as we come underneath 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes remaining. We've got less than 25% of this race to go. And the two BMG boys are, I'm sure, looking for a 1-2 here as they're closing in on Bruma. See, Bruma's last lap time was a 1:23.4. We'll see what it is as he crosses the line. As Aries comes into the pit lane. Aries has come into the pit lane, and so has Wesley. So extra tyres and fuel for them. I didn't expect that. But Bruma's still out in front. Surely he's got to pit again as well. But SMJC gets promoted up into P2. Just about, I believe. He's setting quick lap times at the moment on a 1:22.1. But it's Aries and Short side by side now as they come out. As Aries has just come out of the pit lane, Short's now trying to make a move around the outside, but of course we've seen it's been very difficult today. And of course Aries on the really fresh rubber, and he just about holds on. But if you have a look now up the inside now, Will Short's going to send it down the inside. But they'll be side by side now as they run through the Cooper straight towards Surtees. Short's like he's got the position, and he think he's just about slotted ahead of Aries in the BMG car. That is a massive move for what could be P3 in this race. And Aries is still going to be sat right on the back, trying to get that P3 straight back. Having a look on the outside of Hawthorne's now as they climb up the hill. Take the fast right-hander, and it looks like he's running a little bit wide there. As Aries keeps onto the back of Shorts. He's now got to do his best to follow him through these couple of corners. We'll have a look at that once more. Shorts managed to get through on the exit. Pick the right replay one, should I? Down the inside from Shorts. Fantastic move as they run side by side. He got a much better run out the corner. I think Aries getting onto the dirt a bit there. And RLH Shorts getting through to take P3. And what currently is the final podium spot. But Broomer is into the pit lane. We are waiting for it. And he's come out now. And where will he be coming out? He'll be coming out straight into the battle for P3. And he's just slotted ahead of those guys. And Broomer into P2. And the gap now 6 seconds between him. There's going to be a battle further back. RLH Shorts have to hold it up the inside. And he's just about kept hold of the position from Aries behind. Aries having a look into the same place Shorts got him on the previous lap. And the battle for P3 is certainly not over. Shorts is holding on best he can. Shorts, this will be his first podium of Season 5. If he can hold on and fight off the charge from Aries. Aries having a look at Hawthorne. Shorts having to go defensive there, but holds on to P3 and keeps the high ground. We'll see the battle between these two. Shorts had the ground and it was a fantastic run from Aries. A bit of a twitch there, and that allowed Aries to get alongside and try and make the move go around the outside side by side as they're at the top of Druids. Shorts was getting the better exit out the corner and kept the position. Importantly, but Aries not giving this up at all. Shorts holding on. Aries having a look now as they go towards clearaways, come out onto the Indy circuit, and Aries will be looking to try and get the best run he possibly can on Shorts down the main straight. You can see Broomer up is probably loving this as he tries to be his best to break away. They'll drop now down Paddock Hill Bend. And can Aries get the move done? A little bit wide there from Shorts, and Aries now trying to have a look up the inside, but Shorts very defensive, covering off. And these guys know that the inside is king in this race today. And Shorts still holding on to P3. Wesley in P5 closing up on this battle massively. And Aries now looking to move on the inside. He's got a fantastic run up the corner. RLH Shorts just about holds it around the outside, but they're going to be batting now as they run towards Hawthorne's. They'll drop underneath the bridge, and RLH Shorts still has the high ground, still is in front. But Aries relentlessly pushing and trying to find a way past now. And Aries trying to maybe go around the outside because that's where the marbles are, and that could be... Oh, he's almost made it done. He's still side by side with Shorts trying to go around the outside of the Mazda now. Is the Toyota, and he just has to back out, I think, there. But great stuff between these two. You see Aries last lap 123.3. His teammate, on the other hand, was a 122 flat. So you can see just how much time these guys are losing battling, and this is helping out Broomer and SMJT massively. And into the pit, someone into the pit lane, not too sure. Broomer's just about to lap Nova. But Aries now, we got about take number 4 of this battle as they run down the main straight, run down the Brabham straight, and they'll go towards Paddock Hill Bend. Aries just has that confidence on the much fresher tyres and trying to get onto the podium position. Of course, Aries has got 2 podiums, including a win to his name this season, so wanting to make it 3 out of 4 on the podium. Just holding on to this lead at the moment. Okay, yellow flag somewhere as well, and I think someone has spun. I think that might have been Nova, so I'm really unfortunate for him. But Aries still right on the back of RLH Shorts, looking to go around the outside into Hawthorne's once again. He seems to have much better straight line speed now, trying to go around the outside. Can he hang it around the outside of RLH Shorts? He's going to be onto the marbles there and just has to back out of it and get out of the throttle. That was exciting stuff between those two. Have another look at it once again. Of course, Wesley, and it was Shorts just holding on to position there as he kept it up the inside. Aries still right on the back of Shorts. This battle is going to go all the way as we now have under 4 minutes remaining in this race. Shorts desperately holding on to that podium. Aries making a move as they break out back onto the Indy circuit and come through Clark Curve. He's going to be right on the back, and they're almost side by side as they run down the straight. Aries now pulls to the outside, and can he get the move done round Paddock Hill Bend? He's going to be out on the marbles. Can he keep the speed? They're still side by side now as they come towards Druids, climb up the hill, and Wesley wants to get in on the action as well. Can Aries hang around the outside? He seems to have much better tyre life than Shorts. He's going to be Then it switched to the inside. A fantastic move from Aries, slotting ahead into P3, a well-earned P3 position on track. I don't want to jinx anything just yet, but Shorts has to tuck in behind. Great stuff there from Aries. I think we'll relive that. They were side by side as they dropped down Paddock Hill Bend and rose up the hill. Aries had the difficult job of hanging it round the outside, but made it work. And then, of course, hanging around the outside, switches it to the inside for the Graham Hill Bend, and he gets the position. Fantastic stuff from him there, and he's still held on to P3 at the moment. His teammate, I'm sure Wesley, will be wanting to try and get past RLH Shorts, but the gap about a second at the moment. But it's SMJT still leading the way out front, so fantastic job he's done. And Broomer currently in P2. Will be another podium finish as things stands for him, but not quite getting onto that top step just yet in this championship. But I think if my quick maths are correct, he'll still be leading the championship despite SMGT getting the fastest lap as well. Have a look further back down the order as that battle seems to have had a slight break in things. Palmer now trying to get a toe there from Nova, who just moved out the way for blue flags. Credit chips in P8. Timmy's kept clean in P9, and Nova of course in P10, and that rounds out the top 10 for you. Love the livery of Nova, must say. Probably my favourite on the grid at the moment. But it seems to, some of the battles just coming to an end as Wesley's had a moment as he's dropped back. See if we can try and see it. And yeah, he's gone off. He went off at Surtees there. Maybe just outbraked himself a touch and has lost, well, 4 seconds. And I think that, unless there's any big dramas and with 50 seconds left, that could be a nailed on P5 finish for him. So I think the guys are getting a bit more spread out now as they work our way down the order. I think Hemshaw and Palmer are closest on track at the moment, but the gap might just be too big with 34 seconds left. So this will be the final lap of racing. SMJT leading the way on the final lap. Broomer in behind, of course. Fantastic start for Broomer, but just not quite. I think maybe a few strategies. You can see the undercut was massive here, and he stayed out very long, I think, in the first stint, if I'm correct. But he gets P2 nonetheless, and with 5 seconds left, I think this will be the order of things. Palmer and Hemshaw closest on-track battle. We see there's still a second and a half between those guys. But I think this is the final lap. We've done 29 laps around Brands Hatch, and it'll be SMJT as he makes his way through Stirlings, and he can now see the bridge, and he knows there's just 2 corners left to go. He'll come around Clearways and the Clark Curve and onto the Brabham Straight to win round number 4 in Brands Hatch. Great stuff from him. It'd be Broomer in P2, and Aries will come home in P3. BMG boys very quick today, but I think just maybe a bit of strategy not going their way, and RLH Shorts will come home in P4. Wesley takes P5, that small error at the end. Meant he couldn't quite have a go at RLH Shorts, but nonetheless P5, good job from him, currently second in the championship before everything's totted up. Hemshaw takes P6, it's P7 for Palmer and Spaghetti Chips, the last person I think to cross the line. We've got Timmy the Turtle has finished his race in P9. We've got Nova in P10, who's also just completed his. We're now watching Spaghetti Chips, who comes round the final corner in P8, currently 11th in the championship, so a good amount of points for him. I think that's more points than he scored. And running wide there, it's Spaghetti Chips. What on earth happened there? We've got to have a look at that. On board of him as he comes round the final, doing a bit of weaving, trying to celebrate this P8 and onto the grass, and he's just lost it there. Unfortunate stuff for him, but he crosses the line facing the wrong way. Very happy with that P8, I'm sure. But it's SMJT who takes the win, and that will do absolute bits for his championship. Broomer in P2. Of course, the relentless podium finisher in the championship, but still has to wait for that win. And now we've got the results confirmed. SMJT taking the win. Broomer in P2. Aries in P3. And as we congratulate SMJT for his second win of the season. Fantastic Lewis Hamilton helmet there, it must be said. And he went around up 3 positions as well. So fantastic stuff from him. And now I will do my very best to try and get everyone on board for the podium interviews. Let's try and set this up. But a great race from SMJT there. Getting the win, of course, starting in P4. And we'll just get everybody into the party. Fantastic racing at Brands Hatch, of course, very difficult to overtake around the circuit. High speed corners make it difficult to say the least, because there aren't, apart from Druids, you know, after the Paddock Hill Bend, there aren't many corners you can sort of send one into and try and be late on the brakes. And the race winner has joined us.
Hello.
Hello. Great win, must be said.
Thank you. Quite a difficult one, but thank you.
Yeah, it looked quite a difficult track, it must be said. Difficult, especially with some of the marbles around the corners. But how was the start for you? Seemed very chaotic.
Yeah, it was very much. I was in the worst place, being on the outside, especially on turn 1. I was just happy to keep it on the track, to be fair, in that whole sector. That was what we were pretty much fighting the whole first lap, was just to stay within the track limits and not spin out. But yeah, it went alright. I was happy with it.
Yeah, it did seem difficult on the outside. I think a few guys losing out with others on the inside, but throughout the race seemed to have really good pace, setting the fastest lap as well, so going to do bits for your championship as well.
Well, hopefully it will bring me back into this championship fight, since I dropped quite a few places from the last race. So yeah, I think as far as doing the best that I can to get back up there, I think that's been pretty good. Only I'm missing out on pole.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and the gap was 11 points, so I think it's now going to be 3 or 4, so perfect round really from your point of view. Final question, how's the Red Bull Ring for you? Of course, that's where we're racing next week. How do you find that?
I enjoy the track. I don't know whether I have the straight line speed for it. It's quite a power circuit, but I do enjoy the track, so I think I'm going to be fairly competitive on it. But you know, you never know until you get there.
Exactly.
The players to go.
Great stuff from yourself today, and I look forward to commentating over your racing next week.
Thank you.
And we'll move to P2. Broomer, are you in the call?
Yeah.
Seem to try to sort of try and make the overcut work in the first stint, or try and go very long. What was the thinking behind that?
I don't know, just like less fuel to put in the last stint. That was my thinking, which helped to get me into P2. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, very good start as well. Managed to get sort of into P1 in the opening couple of laps.
Yeah.
Again, did you get on the inside? Of course, the outside seems to be very compromised today.
Yeah, I got on the inside at the start. I think I was side by side with Morgan, was that? With Shorts, I think. Yeah, managed to get him and managed to get basically a couple of laps later. I mean, I'm happy with that, yeah.
Good stuff. And yeah, Red Bull Ring, is that something that you enjoy next round?
Yeah, I think it's a good track for GT racing. I think it's better than this track because there you actually have some overtaking opportunities. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I won't get another P2 again for P2s in a row, so yeah.
Hoping to make that jump up to the top step of the podium.
Yeah.
But still, leading the championship, so got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm always happy with that. Yeah.
Good stuff. And finally, Aries, are you in the call as well? I think you are.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. To be fair, both you and Aries, both you and Wesley seem to have great pace today. Very quick. When I saw you on track, did you make guys maybe pit one more time or maybe try?
Yeah. Well, after the start, I thought I'd switch to a 3-stop, which Wesley was already planning on, so we kind of ended up coordinating, and the tyres, especially rear tyres, were especially bad, worse than I was expecting, so it kind of paid off with the time to 3-stop.
Yeah, and then battling towards the end, it was a great battle between you and RLH Shorts in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, well, I came out just in front of Short, and he kind of snuck past on turn 2 or 3, and we were just kind of... I was at him for 3 or 4 laps. It was a really good battle, a really good defensive driving on his part. We managed to wiggle past because the tyres were a few laps fresher, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I spent the whole race having a go at making moves on the outside, and I mean, that's exactly what you did towards the end. Outside of the hairpin in turn sort of 2-3.
Yeah, I got the run out of turn 1, and that helped because, but yeah, as you said before, going out onto the marbles and trying to overtake just really compromises you. So I had enough of a run then to make it outside.
Great stuff. And then, I mean, final question as well. Red Bull Ring, is that something you're a fan of as well?
It's a track I'm all right at, but yeah, more overtaking opportunities, particularly on the brakes compared to here. So if something like maybe not as a prolonged defensive battle as this week, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Well, thank you all for joining me for the podium interviews after the race. Great race for all 3 of you especially, and looking forward to Red Bull Ring in a week's time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're not set yet.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
See ya.
So we've got a week's wait for the next GT Sport race in RLH. But of course, we're moving to Russia for round number 5 of the Asia Cup this week. Of course, we're racing in C1 and C3 tomorrow, C2, C4 on Wednesday, and C5 rounding everyone off on Thursday. So good for everyone to look forward to that. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me for the GT Sport. Sorry for the few technical difficulties towards the start of the race, but nevertheless, fantastic race between everybody. I hope everyone's enjoyed. So I'll see everybody for GT Sport, GT3 Pro next week, and thanks everyone for watching.